What's up, everybody? Ben here with Fly Plugins. I have a question for you. Do you want to sell your online courses and make money online? Sounds like a pretty good idea, right? In this video, I'm going to explain all the details for setting up your WP Courseware native shopping cart. Coming up. So we've had a ton of questions come up since the release of WP Courseware 4.3. WP Courseware 4.3 was the release where we introduced a native shopping cart along with two payment gateways. We added PayPal Standard and also we added Stripe. So you have two payment gateways, which you can actually use both payment gateways. So I wanted to take a moment and create a 3-part video series covering the different aspects of the shopping cart. In this first video, I'm going to cover setting up your shopping cart. In video number 2, I'm going to show you how to set up PayPal. And in video number 3, I'll walk you through setting up Stripe. But first, I wanted to give you a rundown of the shopping cart basics, the pages that get set up, and what you would expect out of the box. So without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do really quick is just show you and demonstrate that I have absolutely no pages set up. Now, obviously your site, if it's a pre-existing site, you probably have pages set up, but in this case, I have no pages set up. And the reason for that is WP Courseware 4.3 actually will create some pages automatically under certain conditions. Okay, so what we try to do is we try to introduce the shopping cart without being intrusive into your website if you already are running perhaps like a membership site or maybe even some sort of e-commerce site. So what we did is we built in some logic so that these pages would not automatically get set up if you have one of these add-ons or plugins set up. So if you notice in this list, I won't go through every single one of them, but Easy Digital Downloads. If you have Easy Digital Downloads, you're not going to get the automatic page setup. Or if you're running EDD plus the EDD add-on for WP Courseware, the pages will not be set up. So you can go down through this list and figure out whether you're going to get pages created automatically. Now, it's really not a big deal if those pages do get created. You can obviously just go and delete them. But we wanted to kind of save you some trouble in case you already had a shopping cart going on. We didn't want to make additional work for you where you had to go in and maintenance your pages and delete pages and that sort of thing. So with that said, back to the tutorial, there are no pages created here. So basically I have WP Courseware 4.2 installed on this site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to update it to 4.3. So in this case, it's 4.3.3 because that is our current version. So I'm going to go ahead and run the update process. Okay, and we are upgraded. So now I'm going to go back to the pages. Okay, so if you notice, we have several pages added here. We've got the courses page, we've got a checkout page, order received, order failed, terms and conditions, and the account page. I'm going to walk you through each and every one of these pages and let you know exactly what their function is, as well as the shortcode behind it, because each one of these pages, I believe, except the terms and conditions, actually has a shortcode associated with it. So let's go ahead and let's start from the beginning. So one thing that you're going to notice when you upgrade to 4.3 or above is you are actually going to get a new tab here when you go to edit a course. And so in this tab, you can set your pricing for your course. You can either set it up as a free course, a one-time purchase, or you can set it up as a subscription. This is the really exciting part. The subscription payments are wonderful because that is recurring revenue that you can achieve on a monthly or yearly basis. Whatever billing model you choose, the recurring model is by far the best approach in if you want to grow your online business. But in some instances, you're going to want to run a one-time purchase, which is perfectly fine. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and set a price in here, and we'll just say $5 monthly, and we're going to go ahead and save that. So now we have our course pricing all set. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go down to settings, and down in settings, you're going to notice right here we have a courses page. Now the courses page is your course listing page. And while this is not necessarily part of the checkout or shopping cart per se, it kind of does have some overlap. And the reason for that is the courses page actually will display your courses along with either an enrollment button if it's a free course, or if it's a paid course, it will have a buy now button. So you can list out all your courses and they will each have the enrollment or buy now buttons depending on what type of course you have set up on your WP Courseware install. So in a minute, I will show you exactly what the courses page looks like. For now, let's go over to our checkout. Okay, so this is primarily where we're going to spend most of our time talking about the shopping cart. Okay, these are the items that you'll have to configure for the shopping cart. Okay, so in order for the shopping cart to function properly, you're going to need to set up these 4 pages. Okay, you have checkout. This is your shopping cart checkout page. Okay, this is where it's going to list the products that you are about to purchase, along with the personal information that you have to fill out. If you're using Stripe, you would obviously have a credit card form at that point. Otherwise, you would have a button that would take you out to PayPal. But this is all on the checkout page. The order received page will appear once a purchase is made. So once the purchase goes through, if you go through PayPal, you obviously go offsite to PayPal, and then PayPal redirects you back to your site. And this is the page that you would receive if it was a successful payment. For Stripe, when you check out with Stripe, basically it's on page. So you either have the online or the inline form, or you have what's called Stripe checkout, which is it's sort of like a light box credit card form that pops up, but it's still on page on your site. And once it's submitted and the order is successful, then the order received page will populate, and you can actually click right over to your account page, which I'll talk about in just a minute. The order failed page, obviously, it's pretty much the same as the order received, but that would be for some sort of failure with the payment. So that would display with an unsuccessful payment. Terms and conditions. This is a page where you can set up your TNC. You can put all your terms and conditions on a single page. And what happens when this page is set is you get a checkbox on the checkout page, and your purchaser is required to check the box, to check the TNC box that they've read it. And there's also a hyperlink that they can click on that will take them to the TNC page prior to clicking checkout. And once they click or check the box, they're free to go ahead and make payment for the course. So these 4 pages are essential. Now, each one of these pages, except the terms and conditions, requires a shortcode. Okay. And so in just a few minutes, I'm going to take you back to the pages that are created, and we'll go in and just take a look real quickly at each shortcode. Next over, we have currency. And this is where you can set your currency depending on your physical location and whatever type of currency you accept. Then you also have the currency position, so the symbol that goes along with the currency. You have the thousandth separator. You also have the decimal separator, and then the number of decimal points that you would like to add. So this is just configuring how you want your currency to be displayed and what type of currency you are accepting. Okay, the payment gateways I'm not going to cover today. These are going to be the next 2 videos, and the next video would be PayPal. I'll cover how to set up PayPal. And then in the Stripe video, obviously, I will walk you through setting up Stripe. We'll go ahead and set it up completely from start to finish, including running a transaction, just so that you can see how that does work. Taxes, basically, you can enable a flat tax here. You can enable a tax percentage that you would like to associate with your products. Again, it's just a flat tax, and it would apply to every product that you have. Not much to configure there. The checkout process basically configures 2 items. One is it configures or forces your checkout page to be HTTPS. So if you do select this option, you do have to have an SSL on your website. Otherwise, the page will not render correctly. And the other thing is, if you're just running PayPal as your payment gateway, this isn't required. If you are running Stripe, then you definitely have to have an SSL, and you can choose to use the Force Secure Checkout. But typically, if you're running a website that already has SSL, every page on your website is running HTTPS. But if it's not, then you can use this checkbox here to force SSL on the checkout page. And the second option is redirect to checkout. And all this does is it makes the button on the course listing page actually redirect you to the checkout page immediately upon clicking the button. If you want to provide your users with a way to add multiple items to the cart, or you don't want to force them to the cart immediately, then you would probably want to leave this option deselected. The privacy page is actually something we implemented in 4.3.3, and this was a result of the GDPR regulation that came down from the EU. So what we wanted to do is provide you with a method to create a privacy policy page, and you can set that here, and you can also tick this box here, agree to the privacy policy. And what this will do, this will force users to check that box before they purchase. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and create one here, and I'm going to go ahead and select this box to force it. And basically that's the entire shopping cart. We've configured everything in the shopping cart at this point, aside from the payment gateways, which will be coming up in the next couple of videos. So if we go over to the Students tab here, you'll notice we have an account page. And again, this got created upon updating to 4.3. And basically the account page is sort of like a student dashboard. They can see their courses, their orders, subscriptions, their personal information that they have listed for their account, as well as a logout button. So this account page is very useful on the front end, and I will give you a demonstration of that in just a minute. But again, you can set your page here, and there is a shortcode that is associated with it. Now below that, there are endpoints, and these endpoints simply drive the various aspects of the dashboard. So the orders page, the view order page, subscriptions page. And so these are just slugs, and you can change these slugs to whatever you'd like, or just leave them as is. Okay, so we've already covered what the courses page does. We've covered the 4 checkout pages, which is your checkout page, order received page, order failed page, and terms and conditions page. We've also covered the account page and the privacy page. So we've got quite a few pages going on here. So what I want to do next is we're going to go back right over to our pages area. And I want to just quickly bump into each one of these, and let's take a look at the shortcodes that are associated. So you'll notice the courses page has the shortcode WPCW_courses. And if we go to checkout, this one is WPCW checkout. If we go to order received, it's WPCW_order_received. WPCW_order_failed for the order failed page. Okay, the privacy policy does not require it, but again, this is where you can add your privacy policy text. Terms and conditions does not require it either, but again, this is where you would edit your terms and conditions. And your account page does require it. So that would be WPCW_account. So these are all shortcodes that have to be set. So, and the reason I'm showing this or demonstrating this is because if you happen to create your own pages manually, you'll want to make sure that you insert a shortcode. Otherwise, you're not going to get any content displaying on that page if there's no shortcode inserted into those pages. So that pretty much covers the back end of setting a price on your product, setting up and creating all your pages, configuring your pages, configuring your currency. Again, we didn't cover the payment gateways. You also configured a privacy page in the accounts page for your students. So let's go ahead and move over to the front end. And you'll see all my pages showed up here. So the courses page, remember, is the course listing page. So if you remember correctly, I have a course, How to Restore a Volkswagen Beetle. And the course was set to a $5 monthly recurring fee. So you'll see how that displays here, right here on the actual button. And if I click the button, it gives me the option to go to checkout. Now, if you remember, I did not select the box that would redirect me to checkout upon clicking the button. However, if I had that button checked, I would have been immediately redirected to the checkout page. So we can either click here to look at the checkout page or click here. And this is your checkout page. And you'll notice we do require first name, last name, and some billing info here. Right here, there is no payment gateway configured. So this is why we're getting this message here. And the other thing you're going to notice that's missing is the terms and conditions privacy checkbox. And so those two checkboxes typically show up right under this box here. And the reason they are not showing up is because there's no payment gateway set up. So there's really nothing you can do on the checkout page at this point without a payment gateway enabled. But I just wanted to give you a demonstration of what it looked like. Now, one thing I wanted to mention also at this point is if you have a user who has already purchased a course from your website, and let's say they log out of your website and a few days later they come back to your website and they want to purchase a second course, basically what they do is they add it to their cart and they come to the checkout page, and at the very top they're going to have an option to log in, so that way all of their personal information will get populated here and they'll be able to check out, and that course they will be enrolled into the course as the original user that they created. So that's sort of to prevent people from creating multiple accounts on your website. But there is that option if that person is logged out and they do have an account, they can just log in and check out. The order received, there's going to be nothing to display on this page because we didn't perform a transaction. The same with order failed. This is your terms and condition. So this is the account page. This is sort of the dashboard for the student. And so the student can come in. Once they log in, they will see the dashboard tab immediately. On the courses tab, this will show which courses they are enrolled into. It'll be sort of like a course outline for every course that they are enrolled into. The orders page shows which orders they have completed. Subscriptions just displays any subscriptions that they have created or purchased. The subscription tab shows any subscriptions that are relative to that student. The account page just shows the details, first name, last name of the student. They can reset their password here. And then there is a logout option. Now, if I click the logout option, you're going to notice that on the account page, there's also a really nice login form. So you don't have to send users to the back end to log in. That's all on the front end. We handle that with WP Courseware. There's also a register option or a lost your password option. And that covers just about everything that you would expect to see on the front end in relation to the shopping cart. Again, in the next video, I'm going to cover PayPal. So we'll actually be able to see just a little bit more of our shopping cart, the parts that we're missing today, like the terms and condition, privacy policy checkboxes. And then you'll actually see a transaction that we go through from start to finish. And then you'll see how the student gets enrolled and then how the student can immediately view the course. The really cool thing is that upon purchase, when PayPal redirects the user to the website, it automatically logs them in and puts them and sets up a link so that they can just click on it and go right to their dashboard. And it's the same with Stripe. When Stripe transaction completes, they get the order received page that has a link right to the account page so they can see their dashboard or whatever course they're enrolled into. They're automatically already logged in, which is really cool. Okay, well, that's it for this video on configuring your shopping cart. Question of the day: What courses are you going to be selling with WP Courseware? Place a link in the comments below. Place a link to your course in the comments below. Let us know what courses you're creating with WP Courseware. We'd love to know. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out any of our super awesome videos just like this one. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video where I will be explaining the setup of PayPal Standard Payment Gateway. See you next time.